The Green Room, a dive into the minds of the artist.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Green Room, the show that gives you a dive into the minds of the artist. I am your host, Cody Denning, and we are broadcasting to you from the Soundwave Music Media headquarters. Today, we have on our guest, Spencer Petersen, from the band Sego out of the great state of Utah. Man, how is it going? I've been trying to get you on for some time. This is awesome.
This has been the longest standing journey to get on a show, and I appreciate your patience, man.
I know, yeah. Man, it's been awesome. I know the last time I talked to you, were on tour, so let us know a little bit of how that was going, man, and then we'll jump into the show. But how was tour?
We're just kind of wrapping up, like basically I don't know, maybe a year of album cycle touring, and so we've been out on and off. So I can't remember which tour it was that we were on, but we have been out basically on and off all year, promoting our last record, Tandang. And so now we just slowed down a little bit, and we're trying to get things going for the next kind of round of songs and get the next record going. So it's nice to kind of chill for just a second. But that being said, we couldn't help ourselves, and so we're going out on another mostly national run starting in like a week and a half.
So take us through, the start of the band and everything. I always have everybody, just start out from the beginning, and start it too with like, what inspired you to play music? Kind of when did you know you wanted to play music, and then when did you build this band?
Ironically, I spent a large part of my youth in young adulthood studying the bass, like a string bass. So I was going after kind of symphonic performance and with the upright bass in a classical form. And I did that all through, high school and college. It was kind of what took me through college. But then I got kind of seduced by rock and as it happens, and started touring, or started playing out a lot just as kind of a side joke while I was in Provo. And just kind of on accident, we ended up having a string of successes in our former band. Thomas and I, our drummer Thomas, he and I were in a different band together. So we came to California, kind of in that flow, after we'd had some kind of just kind of cool attention and some label stuff. And so that took us to California, and all of a sudden just time flies by and you just are still in California. So we live in downtown Los Angeles. But with that old band, just like bands do, it broke up, uh, just natural causes. And
I like how you put that.
and so in the aftermath of that, we were just here and like, well, what do we do? And I kind of just started writing songs, just probably just because of momentum. I was just in that flow already and kept writing for myself and accrued kind of a batch of songs, which would ultimately become our first record for Sego. And we launched kind of a new project at that point. And then it just kind of, it was funny. It was with our old crew, it was funny how much there's this kind of feeling of output and input, and a lot of times you spend so much time in a band reaching out and begging people to listen, come check it out, blah blah blah. And with Sego, it was such a stark difference because we just right out of the gates there was this influx of attention and interest. Within the first 24 hours of releasing our first song and first music video, we had received a couple unsolicited record deals that came in, like through our, I don't know how they got our email. And I didn't know that type of stuff even happened anymore. It was just like this very jarring change of events. And it hasn't always remained that way, but it was just, that was kind of what set the stage at the beginning of Sego. Um, and so, yeah, yada, yada, yada. We did full albums and a bunch of stuff, toured the country a bunch.
You guys have moved through some awesome music too. So your sound is like diverse for sure, but really psychedelic. Where do you draw your psychedelic influence from?
My mission statement when it comes to like the styles that we traverse is just a very selfish one. Like, I'm very much just wanting to scratch whatever itch I want to listen to, and
So
and
just
a
play
lot.
what you feel.
Yeah, it's yeah. I feel like I've never gone out and felt like I need to like share. I need to really bring this crazy experience. I guess in a way there is, but largely it's just like, what do I want? Because I'm going to be stuck playing these songs. So what do I resonate with the most? And some days it's more trippy and more, and some days it's more grungy, and some days it's more dancey. And so it is a bit of a journey, I will admit. But I like to think that, I don't know, it's kind of fun after some time being in the same project. You start recognizing your fans a little bit. And I feel like we've trained our fans to um to kind of be down with the journey, and so much so that it's almost a detriment because Spotify or Apple will sometimes they'll be like these clerical errors where they'll mix up bands, and so some band from Indonesia or something will put up a track and it'll go out on our new music on accident, and we'll get
Yeah.
messages from our fans and they're like, wow, this is like, okay, like I'm kind of down, like I'm down, like whatever you say, which I appreciate that they're just down with some. There's some crazy ones that have hit that I'm shocked that people stick with it. So anyway, I feel like that's a testament to our
That is
fans just
insane.
being down for the journey. And so we throw a lot of different sounds at people. But I think the through line, I think there is a through line despite the kind of the variation. Like there's a general mix of kind of slacker messiness with kind of a higher uh execution and like virtuosity and some things. So it's not just, I feel like, yeah, it does have a fingerprint regardless of the like the moment to moment styles.
I when I first heard your guys' music, it took me back to like I don't know, like some old school Beck sounds, and they're just like really vibey skate music.
I feel like skate Tom's like a legit skater, and I always feel like growing up skate soundtracks were the pinnacle of cool association. If you could be a part of that, be on someone's like sequence or whatever. Um, and it's only until this year I just started skating. I just decided I'm like, you know what, it's time. I'm gonna start learning how to skate.
Well, I
Immediately broke
mean,
my hand. Um,
you you have like
but
all these cool spots around you and
yeah.
stuff to
Oh yeah, my local park is insane. It's these giant bowls and but I it's funny like this late in the game I'm starting to like really experience like the cultural side of the skate world on just like a minuscule scale. It's different than being in like high school or something, but I'm starting to like resonate with that because it is a different culture for sure.
Man, I didn't know that I was listening to Fiddler for a long time.
Oh
And
really?
then I started dating what is now my wife. And she loved Fiddler. And she was like, yeah, check this band out. And I was like, I know this song. And then she played another song. I was like, I swear I know this song too. This is awesome. I like this band. These guys are great. And she's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then like, I'm just like screwing around and I like, well, just throw skate old like the classic old skate videos like Flip Sorry and all that stuff up on. I can't remember which one it was, but then Fiddler comes on in the skate video, and I'm like, bingo! I've been
Uh-huh.
listening to this my whole life. That's why it sounds so more familiar. But like, yeah, they're from out there, and they got on a
Oh
few
yeah.
things.
Those guys are when they popped off out here, it was very exciting. Because there was this like these like rumors like you heard fiddlers like there are all these incorrect rumors about what was happening around them, and they're doing these underground warehouse shows in LA. Um anyway, it was just it's funny you bring that up because I followed them around at like South by for a couple years. Anytime we were down there playing, I would
Nice.
just make sure to track down every fiddler show I could go to. They're like the perfect mix between kind of skate punk and but still pretty
Yeah,
funny.
yeah. Really heavy at times, and then just like kind of funny at times too.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
It's not trying to be too serious.
Yeah. I definitely dig the whole West Coast sound too. It's got that like you're saying, like there's like an element to skate culture and stuff that brings the sound into music too. And it's weird. It's fast and moving and kind of edgy. Edgy would be the word I'd put on it for sure.
I literally had this conversation this afternoon, and I was trying. I remember the set. It goes neighborhood to neighborhood, but state to state. And I remember so specifically moving here from Utah and seeing the dramatic shift in kind of what it was doing to the styles we were writing in our old band. And I was like, well, it would sound immediately sounded more like sunshiny. It was like the only way I could like describe it. It's like we were using a lot more like jangly electric guitars
Yeah. Yeah.
and so yeah, it's like you see enough palm trees and parrots landing in your front yard that like all of a sudden you just start writing different stuff, just play off of it. And now we live in a warehouse next to a cement factory, and like that has its own effect on your psyche.
Man, that has got to be the dream. I mean, especially I've always wanted to live in a warehouse when I was growing up. Like that's kind of what we're doing in a way, but I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, and just like dedicating the life, the culture of music and everything around it. Yeah, man. Um, that's super cool. So do you guys produce all your music right there from the warehouse?
yeah. uh if not, like a lot of it gets produced here, and if it doesn't, it starts here. So we rehearse and record here. Like this is we're in that warehouse right now, so this is like the kind of the studio section, but there's like a main room where we rehearse and practice just out there. And there are three big units here, so we kind of have access to depending on what sounds we want, whatever. But or just throw we can throw events. It's pretty liberating to have this kind of space, especially in LA. Um,
Like maybe sometime or I don't know, somehow get a link into one of your guys' events there. That'd
yeah,
be cool. That would be cool. film it or something
Yeah.
and broadcast it over Soundwave.
Yeah, we did our 360 show here a little while ago, and it, I feel like every time I do it, I need to get it going again, like have an annual event. But we do this show where we have four stages around the room, um, and the crowd is in the middle of everybody, and so you're getting hit in like quadraphonic sound. Everyone's stage is like pushing out like just the keyboards, just the drums, and you kind of self mix in the middle of the room, and kind of creates a natural little mosh
That's
kind of,
cool.
yeah, focal point, I guess.
It must be a big ass room.
It's pretty big, yeah. I mean, it's big enough to put up four stages and have a crowd. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but it is a pain in the neck to run that much
Yeah, because I was
cabling.
thinking you got to have heavy electric in all four corners. Like,
Yeah,
so that's what I'm saying. That's a pretty big. You guys are
I
doing it.
ideally you got to have a PA in every stage, and so it's a lot.
Yeah, yeah, you got to have a PA plus amps and everything. Well, hey, we're going to jump off real quick and we're going to run out to a break. Thank you, everybody. You're watching The Green Room. We got on Spencer Petersen. Man, we'll be right back.
All right.
A glimpse behind the scene. The Green Room.
If you're a guitar player and you're looking for a great new acoustic guitar or custom guitar, check out Sego Guitars. They support us here at Soundwave, but not only that, they make excellent guitars. Check out SegoGuitars.com. What's up, rock fans? Have I got something for you, man? Methylene Blue. This stuff is incredible. And it's not just about the energy, but how well it does for your body. It gets things past the blood-brain barrier, all this stuff, but it's going to give you primal energy. I've talked to like 3 different artists lately, and they said how they've been using Methylene Blue while they're on tour, and how it's helping them more than a Red Bull or some pick-me-up, drag-me-down stuff. But this stuff gives you the best energy. Don't take it if you're on SSRIs or antidepressants or any of that stuff. Consult your doctor before taking it and do your own research. But I am telling you that I have experienced some healthy energy with Methylene Blue. I've heard of people that take it and they use it while they're on tour, and it does wonders for them. It's one of the first drugs that ever came out, and luckily we got a sponsor for it, and we're bringing it to our readers and our viewers. So go to our website and click on the Methylene Blue link and take it there. Help us, and we love helping you. So it's like a win for everybody. We would not be doing any of this without our friends at DistroKid. If you are an artist or a new musician trying to get your music out there on all the big platforms like Spotify and iHeartRadio, go check out DistroKid. And while you're at it, use our code and get 20% off. Yes, 20% off your membership fees. Check out DistroKid and support Soundwave. Thank you.
The Green Room. A dive into the minds of the artist.
Everybody, and welcome back to the Green Room. Oh yeah, we got Spencer Petersen from Sego on. We've been going through like the beginning of the band and how everything kind of came together. Came together quick for these guys, and they kind of just started touring and everything, and really jumping in and recording and writing the songs. Now they live in this warehouse that is epic. They got 4 stages up in there sometimes, bringing in all kinds of fans right in there. They produce music in there, they practice in there, and that's kind of where we were at. Let's dive in a little bit harder, brother, on the producing the music. So you said like sometimes you guys record songs there, or you'll like build your songs there. Take us through the process of that, and like you said in the beginning you definitely started writing a lot of songs. So do you still write every lick of everything, or are you guys all just sitting in there as a team in this warehouse, just producing music together, like how's it working?
It's funny. I wish there was a regular, steady program or theme that we adhered to through the years, but it is just I feel like it just every situation invents itself in a different way. Yeah, because initially I was writing stuff, but I also didn't really have any gear or whatever. So a lot of the early recordings, ironically, some of those vocals were straight into my laptop, like the laptop microphone.
No way.
Yeah, and there's like we got some things done and we tried to re-record them, but it kind of never really we couldn't beat the microphone, the laptop vocal. So that was kind of like where it started, was very homegrown vibe. And through the years, we've kind of went back and forth. We had like a manager at one point. It was like, look, let's just double down and kind of invest in the studio more, and that way we can make this more affordable and more sustainable over the time, because we're going in with a lot of producers for a window of time. And so we like, yeah, so it just kind of we slowly just kind of built our way up into self-sustaining. But I still like going into other studios and working with producers. We work with this producer Nate Pfeiffer a lot. He's the one that did our last record, and so yeah, I so to answer your question, I guess going through the process is always a little bit different. A lot of times it'll just start with like a beat or a jam in here, and then we'll kind of build it out, build the song, and then kind of bring it to the band. But we kind of have like a rule that like it doesn't really matter where it comes from as long as it feels like a cool Sego song. So anyone can write them. Um, I like that feeling because it brings a little bit more of
A vibe. Yeah, yeah. Well, it
yeah,
brings because
collaborative
like
vibe.
I was trying to figure out who writes your guys' songs for the most part because it's so and then I was like, okay, so I feel like these two songs were wrote by the same person, and maybe these two songs were wrote by somebody else. And yeah, it's all and but it's cool when you listen to it as one big piece, just like when I was preparing for the show and like going through all my notes and shit and trying to pull the reports. We haven't done a report on you guys. We got to have another one come out on like the new tours you're doing and stuff. But anyhow, yeah, I was just listening through your guys' music and I was like, it's funny. Is it Neon Me Out is on my wife's playlist too,
Oh
and
no
she's
way.
like, that song's on my playlist, and I was like, sweet,
Heck yeah.
nice. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, that's cool. That's probably how we started reporting on you guys because a
Oh no
lot of
way.
times I'll hear her and she'll be playing something and I'll be like, who is that? All right, throw them on the report board and then somebody will report on them or whatever. And then like, I'll listen to them more and then I'll try to get in touch with or however it works out. You know what I mean?
I always
But
wonder how yeah, how things trickle down outside of touring. Like you see a lot of streams or whatever go out,
so
but it's hard to
that's
know
like,
like how it really impacts, you know?
that's one of the main things that I feel. That's why I like, I have my own project or whatever, but I turned and focused to this because like, one of the main things I see is we don't have a media atmosphere. So like there needs to be a newsroom somewhere where there's people like reporting on all the bands, letting everybody know like this tour's here. There's a tour coming up over here. Check out
Yeah.
these guys. Go over here to the other side of the world. You got more stuff going on. And then we'll start to see more like thriving rock communities. Not to say that like there isn't now. It is like one of the rock music provides for 20% of all streams globally. Like flat out off the
Yeah.
top. So, but the thing is when you start talking about rock music and everything or any kind of music, we've kind of all gotten like jacked by Spotify in a lot of ways. Um, I mean, a million plays on a song is relatively like somewhere is probably around like $3,000 or thirty five
Yeah,
hundred, $6,000 somewhere in there. So
roughly.
I mean, imagine if you sold your demo to a million people for even like a buck, and they listen to that one song and
Yeah.
they were like, "Cool." I mean, so
Yeah,
they give
the
you a platform to like get to the people, but at the same time, they just like rob you blind. I mean, I'm not saying that you need to make $1 million off a million plays, but maybe like $100,000 would be cool, not a couple grand. That's kind of
yeah,
silly, but
it's interesting having been in kind of I've been around just long enough to be in bands before Spotify and after Spotify. And it I'm just speaking from my own experience, but when we were just these kind of disco punk idiots out of Provo and playing really like kind of weird stuff and selling our like stuff online, like on CD Baby or just selling CDs. Even then, we were making like pretty decent money. It was like not bad. We were selling enough to like, oh, like keep the engine going pretty easily. And that's like a small band that had no following. And so like fast forwarding to now, it's like in theory, this should be like I've got a lot more momentum and
fans,
followers and
yeah.
fans and but yeah, the way it's set up is it's just different now. And
It's
you
not
know,
different. It's ass backwards, my friend. And like I've went on with some pretty awesome people. John Bound, who's like a contract reporter that does like news journalism and stuff. But we went and talked. We ended up talking for like 4 hours, but I'm gonna air some of it sometime soon. He just sent me some of it. But anyhow, I
cool.
mean, we talked and when you look at it, you got music where on Spotify we have to compete. Rock music's got to compete with like Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin. Um,
There's
need I
Boy
say
Legacy.
more? I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Now, hip hop doesn't have to like compete against Biggie and Tupac and all that stuff. It'll come out as like a new song. So like if you want to make a rock song, it has to like kind of mingle in that crowd. They will like you were saying, like hand pick songs and put them on playlists and stuff. But if you don't pigeonhole to like a certain subgenre of rock. And this is where it comes into like we got these shirts that say on divide and conquer. It's a Soundwave shirt, and like it's just kind of how we support what we're doing. But yeah, dude. So they keep us kind of like pigeonholed and divided into subgenres. And
Hmm.
if you were to bring together rock as a whole, kind of like what you guys are doing, because like you don't have no sound you're trying to pigeonhole into. You kind of make something for like almost every like there's just it's versatile, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um a- and that's what we need to all do and then build these festivals and stuff like we got a couple bands building festivals out in Austin and stuff. And you talk about South by Southwest and stuff. But
Hmm.
but as we keep doing this, we'll get more. We just, like I said, on divide and conquer. Everybody comes together with their subgenres, then we have this massive, massive, overwhelming fan base, really.
Yeah, I mean, I get the idea that it has to be it's easier to sell something that's more narrow and niche and subgenre just because people know what to expect out of something. It's just it's less interesting as a band to do that and be like you're this is what you are now. I like you mentioned Beck earlier, and kind of one of my favorite things about Beck is if you go through his discography, he never kind of kisses the ring on that front. Every album is very distinct and very thorough and
Like a
unified.
piece of art.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is your like 70s funk record. This is your folk record. This is like your hip hop record, etc. This is your pop record. He has such distinct phases, and they're all good, but they're you can't. I would never call Beck a funk artist or or a folk artist
that's
necessarily.
that's the beauty, and that's why I'm saying it almost kills art when people expect people, or the industry tries to make an atmosphere that expects people to stay pigeonholed into some subgenre or some sound they had on an album. As a musician or an artist, we're artists, we're not musicians.
Yeah.
Musicians play on cruise ships and stuff. I don't know, but like, I mean, we're artists, so like, don't expect the same thing every time. Nobody would want to go to an art gallery and see the same photo just carbon copied a bunch of times everywhere. And everybody talks about that with rock. Rock is such a really genre defining too, because like every other genre in a lot of ways is just like a sample of some rock.
I feel like with all like the change in environment and consumption, there's always this temptation for me and for I think anybody to look at it like this is there are, there are things that suck and there are things that are probably the good old days or whatever. But I feel like whenever I'll feel those things, we'll talk about those in, long drives in the van on tour and gripe about things and this and that. But whenever I see a band come out and like complain about Spotify or Instagram or whatever, while I probably agree with that a lot of what they say, I'm never really inspired by that.
No,
Whereas
and we shouldn't all just bitch and
I
complain. We need to
I
all group together and like
yeah,
just
yeah,
like you wouldn't want husbands and wives to all get out on Instagram and air out their dirty laundry. Like this is a long form interview, so we can kind of gripe about some stuff. But
yeah,
like,
totally.
I mean, but this is the way to do it. You know what I mean? That kind of comes back to the media thing. Like we need a media thing, and we need to have our own voices and stuff. And then as we do this and come together, maybe we can bring together some musical lawyers and stuff. Like you,
Yeah.
I've heard of people getting music released under their name, and it's like you build up this name for somebody else to come make a buck off from. That don't work for me, anyhow.
Yeah.
But like I said, yeah, we don't gripe about it to your fans. No, gripe about it to other musicians, and then we got to fix the problem. We're
Yeah.
building the industry, man. Like
And like veer into like what possibilities that present are being presented that we maybe don't see yet. Because there's always something that's just right in front of us that it's like, oh shoot, this is going to be positive. Uh, I think there's a lot of that. Some of it maybe takes risk. I think for us, as whatever it may be, our kind of guiding light is is trying to like uh bob and weave kind of contrary to the crowd. So yeah, like right now there's just hundreds of thousands of people uploading all the time to the internet and to Spotify and the socials and kind of playing the same game in the same queue. And so if I just participate in that same way, then I'm gonna expect the same results. So like maybe we'll try things a little different. So like for instance, we bought this phone, just an iPhone off of Facebook Marketplace, and we just got a plan for it. And I take that around on tour with us. And so rather than having to like rely on our social media as much, we just tell everybody at our shows to text our phone and we hit them back personally, like just one by one, and let them know that we're coming to wherever, like,
that's
and
so cool that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, just
And
trying to find something to kind of just move around in a different way and get yourself out
and
of the
yeah,
long line.
and that's kind of more or less how we used to do it anyhow. Like before phones, we'd pass pieces of paper back and forth to each other. So
Exactly.
be like, hey, my flyer. So like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome, dude. Well, hey, I think we're coming in on another break. So when we get back, let's talk about some touring and everything, and we can go wherever
Okay.
you want to go and talk about anything you want to talk about. Thank you everybody for watching The Green Room, and we'll be right back.
A glimpse behind the scene. The Green Room.
What's up, rock fans? Have I got something for you, man? Methylene Blue. This stuff is incredible. And it's not just about the energy, but how well it does for your body. It gets things past the blood-brain barrier, all this stuff. But it's going to give you primal energy. I've talked to like three different artists lately, and they said how they've been using methylene blue while they're on tour, and how it's helping them more than a Red Bull or some pick me up, drag me down stuff. But this stuff gives you the best energy. Don't take it if you're on SSRIs or antidepressants or any of that stuff. Consult your doctor before taking it and do your own research. But I am telling you that I have experienced some healthy energy with methylene blue. I've heard of people that take it and they use it while they're on tour, and it does wonders for them. It's one of the first drugs that ever came out, and luckily we got a sponsor for it, and we're bringing it to our readers and our viewers. So go to our website and click on the methylene blue link and take it there. Help us, and we love helping you. So it's like a win for everybody. We would not be doing any of this without our friends at DistroKid. If you are an artist or a new musician trying to get your music out there on all the big platforms like Spotify and iHeartRadio, go check out DistroKid. And while you're at it, use our code and get 20% off. Yes, 20% off your membership fees. Check out DistroKid and support Soundwave. Thank you. If you're a guitar player and you're looking for a great new acoustic guitar or custom guitar, check out Sego guitars. They support us here at Soundwave, but not only that, they make excellent guitars. Check out zegerguitars.com.
A glimpse behind the scene. The Green Room.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Green Room, the show that gives you the dive into the minds of the artist, and we're doing exactly that. We talk about kind of the breakdown of the big brain of Sego and how these guys just go back and forth and write songs and are very versatile. And I want to dive into some of the touring, you know what I mean? And how is it when the band hits the road? Are these some of the funnest guys to be around, or do you just like hate them with a passion?
Yeah, I mean, going on the road is definitely a proving ground for anything that's already existing, weakness or strength wise. And yeah, it's not for everybody. Through the years, I've toured with just tons of different people, whether it's in my own band or with other bands, and you quickly find out, not in a bad way necessarily, but it's just some people just don't, it's not for them. They don't like it or appreciate it the same way, or they're not, it's harder on them. And this so yeah, I feel super fortunate to be doing music with Dirk, Kathleen, and Tom, because it feels like we're all close to being on the same page when it comes to life on the road, and we have kind of figured a way to survive without it killing us. But yeah, I love it. I think it takes a couple weeks to kind of get into the flow of things.
Yeah, anytime I talk to you guys, you're just like having a ball out there. I'll see little videos on social media, and you guys will be having a ball. So what are some of the what are some of your favorite memories, or maybe most recent memories that are funny? Just like what's some good memories and some of your favorite songs to play live with the band?
Um, I mean, some of the favorite memories, there are certain shows that just have the right kind of recipe of elements that just end up feeling ultra special. Um, And it's like usually it's like a mix between the band feeling really right on and kind of feeling like you sound good, because sometimes something as dumb as having feedback or something can really kind of get in your head. um but yeah, like, some, like, we I think I just had one of my favorite shows of all time this year, where we kind of did a back-to-back show at our old hometown venue. And um the second night we did one of those 360 shows, and it's just like out of the gates, it was just the right people showed up. There was like there was this insane crew of fans that like got there, and they were just like immediately just like tearing off their shirts and moshing, and kind of set the tone for everybody else. And it's funny how much that affects like how much you enjoy it the night. I think fans don't realize how much power they have over how the show pans out. It's like yeah, you're sitting there watching a band play, and you just kind of think that they can't see you, or that like they they're just kind of doing their thing. But you like, when you're out there on stage, you're just staring at everybody, and you see exactly their posture and their attitude. And it only takes like a few people really going for it that to energize the band. And so there's this like mutual egging on that can happen. And yeah, literally, I remember back in college, we'd go to shows every once in a while and kind of do our research for these indie bands that would come through and play small venues, and we would kind of hit the ground running with them. And I remember watching the bands and clocking it early that like, oh shoot, these guys were kind of making their night here. Like, we're doing a lot for the show, and then they would perform harder, and then be kind of like this escalating thing. So anyway, coming back to this particular show had that, like, the right crew was there. It was right on, and so it made us feel great. And then we were taking bigger risks, bigger swings.
You nailed it when you said, I don't think the crowd understands how much power they have over the show.
Yeah.
And the more they clap and cheer and like they get stoked, it is almost like, not almost, it's a high that you get as a musician, because you'll be connecting and you'll be like
Mm-hmm.
working like gears, man. My dad always said that, like, you got to be able to find a band that you mess with, and you'll mesh with them like gears, and it'll just,
Mm-hmm.
when you're moving, you'll feel it. That's the coolest stuff ever, because it's the natural stuff that you already know. It's already been tested. It's like, this has already been tested and it works, and now we kind of can play with it and see what we can do with it from there. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's awesome. So
Yeah.
these
Like,
big shows that you guys play, and you'll have four stages, you said. So
mhm.
how does that work moving from stage to stage? So just like really dive in and explain some of these shows, and then take us on the road to maybe like some of your favorite venues that you've played outside of your guys' little headquarters there, or
Yeah.
big headquarters, I should say.
So for the 360 show, the kind of the way it works is they're just for like, we started doing it as kind of like a uh, kind of an improv whim to save a really bad show. It was like, we're doing the secret show in Echo Park, and it's a terrible sound system and a terrible stage, and the lights look terrible, and we were supposed to headline it. And it was kind of similar to like we were talking about with like marketing, where we just felt like, well, if we just play a set like everybody else is playing it, then we're just going to look like the rest of these bands, and it just felt like a bad look. And so in the moment we decided, like, well, what if we just put Tom on the stage, and I'll get on the ground, and I'll take the mic to the back of the room. And then we kind of devised this plan. So we are all over the room, in the crowd, on the ground. And it just ended up being so much more fun, because the crowd didn't really know what to look at and like where they should be. And that was kind of
A
for people.
stage broke up into four different
Yeah.
parts of the stage around, and you got like a whole crowd in the middle. I like this, dude. I've actually
Yeah.
thought about something similar to this,
Hmm.
that is like more of like, yeah, dude, that would be, you could take it from anywhere to small venue like that to like a big arena, and that would
Yeah.
be really, really cool, bro. I like this
Yeah.
idea you got
It,
there.
yeah. It kind of, we did that, and it kind of, there was a light bulb moment when we saw kind of how the audience was reacting to it. And there was like very kind of, you watch them just kind of taking it in because, again, another audience psychology thing. Audiences, you don't realize how much you just go into the motions, and you go and stand in your place, and you usually don't move from the place that you start from, and then you clap, and then you're like, you know, listening, clap, and you're basically kind of asleep through the show a lot of times. You don't really pay attention. What I like about this is it there is no precedent for it. So you go in and you're like, well, where should I stand? Usually I stand in the back, but there is no route. The back, like
Yeah,
technically
you
the back
eliminate
is,
that. You eliminate that. I'm just listening, kind of
yeah,
chilling,
you're
and I
kind of
might move forward.
participating.
You
Yeah,
have no choice but to like you are forward, no matter what
yeah.
part of the.
You,
Yeah,
yeah,
that I
wherever
like that.
you are in it.
I
And so
like
you'll
that,
watch
dude.
people kind of walk around the room and kind of do a tour of what's happening and check people out up close, or get into like the middle and kind of mosh it up. And anyway, so we scaled it up and we started doing it in bigger venues. I mean, not that big of venues because it's expensive to do. We have to rent all that
Right.
extra gear because we put a
Yeah.
PA on each stage, and we have to run like monitors, and it's a bit of a thing. But it became kind of our proprietary like experience where we do these at least once or twice a year. We'll do one, um, either in LA or in Utah. Those are the two
Bro, if
spots.
technology keeps evolving, we could put you guys on like little like hovercrafts and you guys could like instead
You'd
of
be on a
having somebody do
Segway.
your lights, like you could have lights off the bottom of the hovercraft so it has all kinds of
Yeah.
light show, but then like you guys are on top. Yeah, like Segway. No, I'm joking, but bro, that's really cool. I like that. And then like another thing to do that might be cool if you got the big enough is to bring like a just a circular stage. Like remember them old 90s videos that would have just like
Yeah.
a circular stage and like the fans are all the way around it, kind of the
Yeah.
same idea of like there is no back. I guess there's still a back of the room there, but
Yeah.
like it is less of because like you're right in the
Yeah.
middle of
You're
everybody.
doing the in the round like Metallica style.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, yeah, yeah. In an ideal world, our goal is to take this officially on the road, but we're a couple steps away from being able to like logistically do that. We like need a crew to do it every night, and venues that are down. You'll find venues that are down, but it's harder to line them up. Um,
Right.
or you can't get into the venue at like 10 a.m. to set it all up. But yeah, in general, like it works like a normal show. Like the opening bands play on the main stage, and then all the other stages are just covered with like, ferny
Yeah,
pads or whatever. And then
yeah.
when we come up, we kind of open it up, and the drums are usually on the main stage, and then we're all on these smaller like 4x8 stages.
You got the thing though, because like you said, there is no back of the room, and that's like you guys find so many different ways to relate to your audience. I've noticed through this conversation. I mean, you got the cell phone, you're like actually talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
This is what music should be like. I dig
Yeah,
it.
I mean, you're just trying to find ways to connect with people that feels authentic and kind of present, and it's easy. Like it was like I was saying with like fans going to shows and kind of sleeping through a show. Is in this essence, I feel like the same goes for being promoted to or hearing things online. It's just kind of like this glaze that goes over, and I really like to see if we can get around those, because yeah, it's like I don't want someone to just be casually not paying attention. I don't want to be background music, I guess. That's the
Yeah, you want to be influencing their day and like helping it in some sort of way. But
yeah.
like, yeah. I mean, and especially at a performance, you want to be the main attraction, of course. Um, so like when you're out on the road and you guys are out on the road, who are some of your guys' favorite bands maybe to tour with? And like what are some of the one of your favorite stops that you're like, we'll come back here for sure.
Um Yeah, it's interesting because I know you touched on it just a tiny bit in the break, kind of the effects of COVID. And we don't need to get into that, but
No, go ahead, man.
one of the hard it was a big hard reset because just time passed without being able to touch. Like go touring is a funny like servicing. You're going around and you're just kind of trying to keep a fire going in these places. There's a great metaphor. And and if you don't go very long, it just goes out and you have to start over again. And that's kind of what COVID did to a lot of bands and artists. And so when we're restarting essentially in a lot of these places, we try to be more methodical. And we've discovered a lot of things. And one of them is certain cities resonate better when we reapproached it with kind of more of the personal quality over quantity approach. And so normally we would just go to like Seattle, uh, Portland, Chicago, New York, kind of like the big hubs. But we found like
Yeah.
these great little pockets that we have been trying to circle out of the West. And so Boise has jumped out. It's like this
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
crazy
yeah.
town. I love Boise. It's so fun.
Man,
And it's kind of
that's
it's
crazy because it's an old stomping ground of like, everybody from Clapton to Skinner and stuff like that. They all went through
yeah.
there and they would stop there. It's always been a rock and roll place.
Yeah, it's like where do you go between Seattle and Salt Lake or Seattle and Denver? You gotta like that's the spot. That is and they have such a cool festival and a good community there. It's very reminiscent of our roots in Provo, but it's like a kind of like if Provo had like 20 venues instead of three. It's a weird small town, big town thing where it's like it is a very small city, but it's very music centric. And anyway, we've really enjoyed like kind of carving out these different areas in the country. Um, but yeah, as far as like our favorite bands, uh, I feel like our favorite bands are always like the bands we're currently on tour with because you just get everyone falls in love with each other and you start listening to everybody every night kind of with more intent and earnestness than you probably normally would, and with that comes just this appreciation. And so it always happens. Have a great time kind of digging deeper, and it's a good example of like deep dives and how important those are in a non-casual sense. If a band is decent, a band is good, yeah, that's like the bar obviously, but it once you deep dive and you listen closely to like the full catalog and try to like take it in as a whole, it really does unlock a different level of appreciation than you'll ever get listening to their top two songs and then just kind of keeping it to the top two. I know people are like there's a whole world of album appreciators, and I don't think this is necessarily the same thing even though the road is the same, but I think it's more of just uh, giving earnest attempt at understanding what they're doing, and you unlock a lot that way. So yeah, so we're going out on tour in a week and a half with this band Social Cinema, so I expect they're from Wichita, Kansas, and we played a show with them and they're so cool and they're so nice, and so I'm really excited and I totally expect the same result is just getting really into that because I like their music online and that's my only exposure to it outside of that one show. um but yeah, I think that'll most likely be the case, but we've been on tour with a lot of rad bands that end up being family at the end, and so it's only once in a while where you run into somebody who isn't pleasant, but
But yeah, man. So do you guys got like new music coming and everything?
yeah, the we're working on the fourth full length record right now and kind of in the writing. early recording stages of that. I wanted to have it done earlier, but it's just you can't. I can't stick to a timeline apparently.
Man,
But the
one of the coolest albums ever too, like classic albums or whatever, Boston, and like they just took their time on it. Take your
yeah,
time.
the alternate side of that, in the process of finishing or writing the fourth, we I guess we haven't announced this officially, but maybe by the time this comes out, it'll be out there. But we are going to sneak a CD on the tour of it's an album, I guess, but it's I think like 13 or so unreleased tracks that we have. Um, and we just finished off the last two or three just this week and decided abruptly that we're going to print them and have them on tour. And so there is kind of a new record coming like imminently. Um, I wouldn't count it as my
Nice.
our fourth record necessarily in the canon of things, but
It's like an EP before the record comes, but it's kind
yeah,
of
kind of. It's like
yeah.
it's a mismatch because some of them are older songs. It's kind of like a mixtape. Um, but yeah, we have a few like that I'm really excited to finally release that have been kicking for a minute that came after an album came out and there was just like, well, we can't release it with this. It's like, okay, well, just we'll just sit it here. So we have a few of those that this is like our last chance to get them out. And so we're gonna put them out with like a mix of those and new. So that will be it's the record we're calling it direct to DVD. Um, and yeah, should be we'll have it physically here in a minute, but
That
we'll
is
slowly
exciting.
trickle it out online. Yeah, we'll see. You heard it here first, people.
Oh
Right?
yeah. Yeah, you heard it on the green room first. We're
Heard it
breaking
on the
some
green
news. That's awesome. So you guys got new tours coming up. You got new music coming up. You guys have new merch, I'm assuming, right? You guys got
Always.
merch lines always.
We
Um,
make our own shirts. Like Kathleen, our keyboard player, she prints our shirts, and so we are always kind of cooking up a new custom merch line for each tour.
nice.
So we got a bunch of stuff coming.
Yeah,
Just printed
that's wicked.
some not flannel, but we print some thermals, which I'm excited about. White thermal tops
And where can people find that? Like if they wanted to buy it online, is it
on the
available?
road.
On the
Well,
road.
we do have stuff, physical stuff up on our Bandcamp, which is just sego.bandcamp.com. But
Nice.
yeah, mostly we do it for the road.
And
Yeah.
I mean, what site are you guys most active on if people want to follow you and kind of like talk with you guys? I know you got the phone.
Yeah.
You can drop that number right now too if you want to. And
Yeah,
um,
totally. I mean, like we're on like probably most active on Instagram at the moment.
Instagram, and we
Yeah,
can put
like
that phone number up at the bottom right now. You ain't even got to worry about it.
but yeah, like
And
just so you have like a visual, like this is our phone, and it's just an iPhone, and yeah, we always I have the same spiel every night when we play a show. It's just like hey, look, like you want to know next time we're in town, I'll just hit us up like old school, and so I'll just say the number over the mic and be like, text us and let us know kind of the town and you're in and your name, and we'll hit you back on our way to the next spot. And so I guess I'm just gonna do it right now, which is the number is 323-480-0500. And yeah, and we when people hit us up, we'll just like I'll just add them as a contact in our phone, and then we'll just hit them up whenever we're in the city they're from. And but some people are funny, like I'll get dog pictures and people ask questions about our pedals and guitars and whatever. It's like a cool way to like have a little bit more of a normal conversation with people instead of it being in a comment thread or something. publicly published.
All right,
So
last little question. Last little question. What's your favorite piece of gear? What is your
favorite
favorite
piece
piece?
of gear. I know what it is. I I'm hesitant to share it, but I don't want to gatekeep either. But the band has a secret weapon. We all play through the same pedal. We all have the same pedal, and it's always on all the time. And it's slept on big time because I think it's just a kind of got a corny name. And so I think there are a few pedals that I use that have corny names, and thus people don't like to buy them. Um, but Zvex Box of Rock uh, drive pedal is my favorite pedal for
Nice.
sure. It's like it's got a gain and and a uh, and a boost, and it just creates just enough of this interesting crunch to it, saturation, that it just colors it nicely. And so it's required. If you play in Sego, you have to buy a box of rock. And one of these days, I'm going to get ZVEX to sponsor us because we've gone through at least 12 of these box of rocks in the last couple of years.
You've adopted the sound too, so it's like we're a great pusher of your product.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, hey man, so you said follow you guys on Instagram. They got merchandise. You can go online and follow them on the road. Stay up with them on the new tours. Thank you so much for coming on, man, Spencer.
Yeah. All of our info is on segosucks.com.
Segosucks.com. That's awesome. So go there, check it out, follow them, message them. We done gave you the number, and listen to them after this. Thank you for watching the Green Room. Thank you for coming on, brother. Say
it's good to be
say peace to everybody and let them know.
The Green Room, a dive into the minds of the artist.
Everyone's trying to sell me drugs. I'm just like you, but lazy. What if I am the normal one? What if everyone else is crazy? All these people, all these problems. Oh my gosh, oh my darling. All my friends' teeth are turning gold, but I'm the only one that's smiling. Times skulls, committing treason for no reason. I think I just joined a new cult. I'm not tough enough, I'm not punk enough. I got too much love, I got too much stuff. Useless conversation. No name.
What's up, rock fans? Have I got something for you, man? Methylene Blue. This stuff is incredible. And it's not just about the energy, but how well it does for your body. It gets things past the blood-brain barrier, all this stuff, but it's going to give you primal energy. I've talked to like 3 different artists lately, and they said how they've been using Methylene Blue while they're on tour, and how it's helping them more than a Red Bull or some pick me up, drag me down stuff. But this stuff gives you the best energy. Don't take it if you're on SSRIs or antidepressants or any of that stuff. Consult your doctor before taking it and do your own research. But I am telling you that I have experienced some healthy energy with Methylene Blue. I've heard of people that take it and they use it while they're on tour, and it does wonders for them. It's one of the first drugs that ever came out, and luckily we got a sponsor for it, and we're bringing it to our readers and our viewers. So go to our website and click on the Methylene Blue link and take it there. Help us, and we love helping you. So it's like a win for everybody. We would not be doing any of this without our friends at DistroKid. If you are an artist or a new musician trying to get your music out there on all the big platforms like Spotify and iHeartRadio, go check out DistroKid. And while you're at it, use our code and get 20% off. Yes, 20% off your membership fees. Check out DistroKid and support Soundwave. Thank you. If you're a guitar player and you're looking for a great new acoustic guitar or custom guitar, check out Sego Guitars. They support us here at Soundwave, but not only that, they make excellent guitars. Check out SegoGuitars.com.